Hello and welcome. My name is Seidel Schultz, and I have Aubrey here with me today. Aubrey, thanks for joining me. I'm so excited to chat with you today
Thank
about.
you for having me.
Sounds like a question. I love it. Aubrey did my voice package, the chakra voice package session, and I wanted to chat with you today about your experience with your voice before it, during the program, and now that you are finished, like where you are at with all of that. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions. So thanks for letting me do that.
You're welcome, and thank you for everything that you've done, for the help you've given me.
It was my pleasure. Like legit, I loved every single session that we had together. I was like, yes, it's Aubrey today. I can't wait. Okay, so here's my first question. What were you experiencing with communication before we started working together?
What wasn't I experiencing is it would be actually harder. I don't know. What wasn't I experiencing would be easier to answer, which was clear communication. I was not experiencing clear communication. So what I was experiencing was um I have, like, ever since my childhood, struggled to explain myself, like to come across clearly and feel as if I have been understood. And to feel like I have expressed where I am. I was not taught as a child how to express emotions and to communicate um, desires and what it is I need in life. And so,
Oh,
like, I just always was like, I would overshare and over communicate and over express everything. And people wouldn't understand, or they would understand something completely different and expect something different from me.
oh my gosh. I know that you're not alone in that. I definitely have experienced like I experienced that before. I did like a bunch of work on my voice. So I
Yeah.
totally and I think a lot of people experience that. I love how you said you're like over communicating and think these things, right? But then you're like not saying how you feel and you're not
Yeah.
saying what you want. Like this is such a not even a typical thing. This is like exactly what happens when we have under communication in one area, we have over
Yep.
communication in another area. And then it just like you said, it just kind of like gets all
Mhm.
tangled together. And then people aren't really understanding what you're saying because you're not really
Mhm.
saying
Nope.
what you
I
want to be saying.
During our time together, I learned, and multiples, like, God set up like multiple people to tell me this since we started, but literally that I did not ask for what I wanted. Like, I didn't know how to ask for what I wanted, and so I would communicate what I wanted without asking for what I wanted. And so, like, that's what I did before.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like super comfortable.
It wasn't.
You're like,
Like,
it wasn't.
oh no,
and
no, it's
and
not.
not fun and like it just there's a disconnect between you
Mhm.
and the person that you're wanting something from, even if that is like yourself, like
Yes.
what you want from yourself. There's that disconnect
Yeah.
there. So what
Yeah.
made you realize that something needed to change and that you were ready for the change?
I I have always known something needed to change with my communication. I have done work, essentially, like, I've done therapy, I've done like a lot of like self, like, reflection. Um I have done a lot of like clearing myself, but I never seem to touch on what the problem was. Like, I was too close to the picture. I know that I am an astrologer, and so as I look at my own chart, I know that my soul wound, Chiron, is conjunct my Mercury in my Gemini. And that is all about communication. And so, like, I've always struggled with communication at an energetic level, my whole life. And that includes like communicating to myself and how to help myself. And so I just knew I needed outside help and therapy. Love therapy in a way, like, but it's not the way I process and I progress. Like I was in therapy for many, many, many years with a therapist who was trained in Western medicine on how to therapize that way. And but I was never able to communicate vocally, communicate what I needed in therapy because I couldn't communicate because I didn't know how. And so the therapist didn't understand what I was trying to say in order to help me. And so like I was, yeah, I've known I didn't know how to ask for it. I didn't know really what to do. And lately, like when I first met you, I was like, oh, she does throat chakra work. She helps with communication. I know you do like singing, you're an intuitive singer. But like it's more the communication aspect of it. You clear that energy. And I saw that I needed more like divine guidance with that clearing. That is not me. While I am connected to God and God does guide me, however, I'm too close to this. I am too close to me to see clearly what I need to see. And so I knew that I wanted that divine, intuitive connection with somebody that I trusted who connected to the same type of divine light that I do. Um, and I trusted to guide me, that they had that same connection to guide me.
Oh my gosh, Aubrey, that is
Yeah.
so beautiful. Like you said so many things, and I was like, yes, yes. That like sometimes we're too close to the situation.
Mhm.
Like we are like, you like when you're like looking at a puzzle, if you were like hold it right up to your face, you'd only be able to see one puzzle piece.
Yeah.
We like pull it back, you can see the whole thing. And you're
Mhm.
right, like sometimes we're just too close to the puzzle. Like even though you have all these tools and you know how to do all these things and you're connected to God, it's still
Yeah.
like that, like you were saying, sometimes we're just too close to the
Yeah.
picture to be able to see what's going on. And yeah, therapy is amazing and it definitely has its proper place,
Mhm.
for sure. And I just love that we're like connected to the same divine, like we
Yeah.
just have that because it makes a big difference to work with
Yeah.
someone that you feel like you can trust and be like fully open and authentic with.
Yes, it does. It really does. And so I looked at other people who did throat chakra work and healing work, and it's just your light. Like from the very first time I met you, I was just like, I like her. I'm gonna watch her. I'm just gonna see what she's about. And I just, because I am connected, I felt inspired and I felt like you could help me. And so it was such good inspiration and guidance for myself. Especially since I couldn't, what I couldn't see was that I don't ask for what I want.
Right.
That's one of the really clear messages that I kept getting over these last couple of months was ask, like be direct and ask and
Right.
inform. And as a manifester, with human design, like you're supposed to inform people what you're doing and what you want. Like, because I wasn't asking for what I wanted and informing people of what I was doing because I was always going around the point. Like, I would, like, if you're shooting a gun, I was shooting around the bullseye. I was never hitting the bullseye because I
Right.
was afraid to say what I wanted. I was afraid to ask for what I needed in a relationship, like dating, with people that I wanted to date. Like I look back over my memories, I wouldn't ask for what
Right.
I wanted. I'd be like, oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, it'd be cool to hang out. When inside I'm like, yes, let's hang out. I want to hang out with you. But I never said it. Like,
Right.
oh, that'd be cool.
Right.
Like, which is, yes, I want to hang out with you. Oh, that'd be cool. To me is, yes, I
Right.
want to hang out with you. But to other people, that's, does she want to hang out with me?
Right. Because
Like,
it's not
she's,
direct.
it's not direct. And as a
Yeah.
manifester, as well, like I have to be direct.
Yep. Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
that. I think a lot of people struggle expressing that they're what they want and like sharing that with anybody else. So
Yeah.
here's like a really, I love this, and this is always like one of my favorite things to ask people. Did you have concerns working with me? Like, I know a lot of people, like, one of their fears is I'm gonna have to sing for her. Oh my gosh. I know people, like, did
Concerns?
you worry about that? Was that something that you worried about?
Okay. So was I worried about singing for you? Yes. No, no. Like I came in knowing I was going to have to, but I did not know how to sing. So like that first time you had me sing, I was self-conscious. Like I knew I had to. I was open to it. I was like, yeah, I know I'm going to sing, because you've shared in like your page and everything that that's how you start your sessions and end them, is singing. And so I knew that that was going to be there. That wasn't a concern until I was sitting in front of you and you're like, all right, sing this word. And I'm all like, oh my gosh, she's going to judge me. I don't like my
Mm.
voice. I have a good voice, but what if she thinks it's stupid? And then what if she can't help me? It wasn't until I was sitting in front of you where I doubted myself. Like I knew I needed help with my voice. I didn't know how much I doubted myself until you said sing this word. And I was all like, I had no voice to sing it. Like I did not know how to sing it that first time you had me sing it. And that's when I like was able to see something in me that I'd never been able to see before.
Wow.
And so like I thought that like I like coming into the session, I wasn't concerned because I was aware of how you did things. But once I was there, oh my gosh, that self-doubt took over and yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was eye-opening, so worth it.
So we're, oh, that makes me
Yeah.
happy. So worth it. I just love so much how you said that it you like were able to see what you were really experiencing in communication because of the singing. Like, and you were
Yeah.
able to actually see like your concerns with your voice and what was going on because I asked you to sing a specific
Mhm.
word. I feel like that is, well, that's exactly why I have people sing, because when they sing and they sing that word, and when we're singing improv, you do it like intimately experience what's really going on with your voice,
Yeah.
in that specific word that I choose for you. So,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. And I'm so glad you're like, it was fun.
Yeah, so fun.
It's so fun, but worth it. And that, I think, like,
Worth it.
worth it. It was a little uncomfortable. You're still alive, so that's good.
I
You
didn't
made it
die.
through. You didn't die. You didn't die. That's a
Yeah.
plus. And you came back for more. So
Yeah.
that's also that's also really good. How are you feeling about your communication now?
Um, Confident. I have asked for things that I want. I have said, I want this, and I have vocalized it. I am still learning, so it wasn't like magic, and now I'm like perfectly fixed. The thing with me is I see it as like a learning experience to where I see what I was doing, and now I am doing something different. And so I do still have like uncomfort when I do ask for what I want, but I know that that's growth.
Yep.
Like, because I know that I'm asking for what I want, and then give me, because I mean, we've only, it's not like I'm years down the road. I can perceive what the work that I have done with you will continue to create a beautiful confidence in me and using my voice, um, and moving forward, like it'll be like it'll just grow. It's
Right.
not like now that I'm done working with you, I'm done and this is where I'm stopping at.
Right.
Like it's a day by day, everything is changing and staying the same and growing and difference. And then one day I'm going to look back and I'm going to see where I was today when we were done. I'm like, I thought I was so far ahead. Here I am a year down the road, and I am no longer afraid to be able to ask for what I want. if that makes sense.
Yeah, that
And
makes
so
so
like,
much sense. Like I hear you saying that, and what I hear you say is, now I know I can ask for what I want. I'm starting
yes.
to ask for what I want, and I'm developing trust with myself
Hmm.
about asking and then receiving, which is
Yeah.
so huge. Like, trust is not an overnight thing.
Mm-mm.
It really isn't. And expression, that's not an overnight thing either. It is
Yeah.
about practice and it is about growth and like planting that
Yeah.
seed and then watering it and like finally seeing the shoot come out and the growth. So I just love that you said all that. I love that you can see that it is like, even though we're done, it's still like you're still on this beautiful journey of growth with
Yes.
your voice.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't trust myself enough to trust you.
Yep.
So
Yes.
like what the work
Love
we
that.
did, um, I can't even put into words. Like I don't know how to vocalize um the confidence that I feel in myself right now. Um, I'm like before we started working together, and I had a very overwhelming, like life-changing experience while we were working together, that you probably don't have with everybody. I don't know, maybe you do, but like for me, it's like the universe, God created this scenario in my outside world to coincide our work together so that I can receive that growth. That's where intuitive like life coaching comes into play. Like I do believe that God saw us working together and knew that with your divine guidance during this time, I was allowed to heal a very traumatizing experience working together. And that experience that I had went through was a life and death experience that I thought I had let go of. Um, but that life and death experience occurred because I did not use my voice to ask for what I wanted.
Right.
And I had not healed that inability to ask for what I wanted to begin with. And so that experience came up on the outside world while we were working together, which allowed me to process kind of with you how to use my voice to forgive not only that person, but myself, um, and to ask for what I needed in other scenarios in my life that I'm currently walking through and lay down boundaries um, that were in the same field of like that first initial
Yeah.
dangerous situation I was in. And so, like, working with you, not only did I find confidence in my voice, like, God created a safe space for me to heal something I didn't even know I needed to heal. And that I think is really what helped me find that true confidence in my voice. When I feel comfortable enough with myself to forgive, when I trust myself enough to forgive, I trust myself enough to use my voice, I think is
Oh my gosh, that is so huge. That is so huge. Like, I just want to drink in and like gulp in everything you just said because it is so amazing. You did experience some really big things, and
Mhm.
I was really blown away with how God orchestrated everything. It's not like, things coming together on the outside. It wasn't internal stuff. Like things were showing up physically
Yeah.
in your world for you to like put into practice things that we were talking about in the
Yeah.
sessions. And and you did. It's amazing.
Yes.
And you
I
did.
needed
And
to.
yes,
Like I wanted to.
yes. And I think like what was so amazing watching your experience as you like implemented homework, because you were fantastic at doing your homework. And like, even when you like, because I know we had talked about, you were like, I forgot about the homework was, but you like totally did it and
Yeah.
had the most miraculous experience. Like, I'm talking like physically, you had a physical shift, right?
Yes.
Because of the
Yeah.
forgiveness, which was part of your homework, was to do
Yeah.
forgiveness for that life or death experience that you had.
Yes. It was with forgiveness, and I'll share this. So with that forgiveness, what had happened, there was brain damage that had been done years ago. And that changed the way food tasted. It changed the way I processed the world. It's like everything was dull. There wasn't that bright light that I used to see. Food tasted different. I used to not be able to eat cilantro, like because it tasted like soap. I have those genetics where cilantro is just disgusting. After the damage, I could eat cilantro. It wasn't gross. I mean, it wasn't good. I still didn't like it, but it just wasn't overpowering like it used to be. And peaches tasted rotten for about that first year, year and a half after the damage. And eventually I could start eating peaches, but they never had that same flavor to them. But I could still eat them. I enjoyed them. I love peaches. Like I've always loved peaches. They're just fabulous. But because of the damage that was done, I couldn't like enjoy them like I used to. And so when we did that process and I walked through the gift of forgiveness, like, and I didn't know how badly I needed that until this situation, and I didn't even know how to forgive. Like I did not know how to forgive. And so God, not only did he bring you into my life to walk me through that, there was a handful of other people that I ended up surrounded with during that time, who guided me through that process, whether they knew it or not. Like I was looking for it, and what we look for we find. And because I was looking for it, I somehow found that pathway to forgiveness. And I remember walking through that forgiveness process and going to bed one night, like feeling like, okay, this was a good day. Like, oh my gosh, I do think that I feel so much better about this situation. I can actually think about it without freezing up. And I was like, that's nice. And when I woke up the next morning, I physically felt like a different person. I was like, this is weird. I feel weird. I'm, I'm all like, the world is weird. I remember driving to the location I was headed to. I'm all like, everything feels weird. I was talking to God. I was like, this is just weird. Like that tree, that brown tree is just so vibrant because it's winter. And so the trees are like dead, but it was like so vibrant. And the orange cone that was done in the road work, like there was road work, there was orange cones. They were so bright. I was like, that orange cone is so bright. Like it's beautiful. I was in love with an orange cone. Really weird. But I get to where I'm going and I put some peaches in my yogurt and some honey, and I sit down at the table to eat some of these peaches, and they were so overpowering. The flavor was so big, and I like wanted to cry. Like I couldn't finish eating them. In the way I was like, I still feel weird. I don't know if I can finish eating these peaches. So I kind of pushed it aside, but like still processing everything. Like food tasted different again because I forgave. Like colors are more vibrant. In my life today, I woke up this morning laughing.
Oh my gosh.
I was happy. Like I
Wow.
used to wake up every single morning and just be so happy and vibrant for life. My ex-husband hated it because he was not a morning person. Like I'd wake up talking. I'd wake up just telling stories and just so excited to view the world. And over the last like 4 years, I was like, why am I not happy? For some reason, I had never put two and two together.
Right.
The damage that was done, like I've not been able to wake up happy since. And I woke up today happy. And I'm all sitting in bed laughing at myself. And I'm like, wait, why am I so happy? Like I've been happy occasionally over the last 6 months waking up, but it's like it's not consistent. So I've not woken up like this though.
That's
Like it was
amazing.
just I woke up laughing.
That's
I'm all like, what am I
amazing.
even laughing at? Apparently, I was happy with my dream or whatever was going on. The angels I was talking to, like they're telling me jokes. I'm not sure, but I was laughing. I was happy. It was good. And so, like, I'm hoping that that sticks around.
Yeah.
But it's a it's just getting better.
That's amazing, Aubrey. That's so amazing. Like, I think that's to me, at least, and this is like the most unexpected thing to have experienced from working together. I mean, I don't think I could have said at the very beginning, when we're done, your peaches are going to taste good again. and like
I know.
colors are going to be more vibrant. And I love so much how you said
Mhm.
that forgiveness, like when you forgave, it gave you a space for you to have a voice again and a space for
Yes.
you to be able to like boundaries. And that was another
Mhm.
thing. Like that wasn't something initially when you filled out your diagnostic like questionnaire. You weren't like, I need to work on boundaries, but that's exactly what happened. Like I think that's what you truly wanted. You wanted some boundaries, and
Yeah.
boundaries really help us create this space where we can have safety to be able to say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Like
Yes. Yeah. I love that song
that's a good song. The
because I
really
don't
good
know how to say what I want to say.
now,
Um,
right.
and now I am.
And now you are like in so many places, you're
Yes.
saying what you want, you're setting boundaries, and
Hmm.
clearly is creating so much joy in your life that you're waking up giggling, which is just like,
Yeah.
holla, holla,
You,
girl.
I dig it. I'll take another day or two or lifetime of waking up giggling.
I would too. I would too. So
So yeah.
here's here's my second to last question for you. Dun dun dun. What would you say to someone who is on the fence about working with me?
What would I say to them?
Yeah.
What would I say? Speaking of talking, I'd say go for it. Like if you're thinking of working with her, if you felt inspired, I live off of inspiration. I pray about everything. So if a person wants to work with you and they haven't prayed about it, I would first say, well, pray about it. Then I would say, I had an amazing experience with her. I was guided to her and it worked out amazingly. And if you're feeling guided to her, go for it. Like step into it.
That just makes my
Step into
heart
faith.
so happy. It makes my heart so happy because that's exactly what I do too. Like
Yeah.
when I want to work with a mentor, I wait for God to say, and now, and
Yes.
this person, and that person. And that's when I'm like, and go, like, and we're going. And so
Yeah.
like that counsel to say, like to have someone pray about it first, that just yes, because that's what
Yes.
I want. I want people to get that inspiration from their
Hmm.
higher power to say, this is the right thing to do.
Yes. Like if I was not connected in my higher power, like with my higher power, what I experienced in the outside world was I'm not saying anybody who works with you will experience that. Like that was my story. Experiencing that intense healing because it
Yeah.
was not easy to go through. Like I didn't see that coming, but it was worth it. And so like definitely like what you do works. Like what you're doing with your clients, it works and it will create change. Change is not always easy. Sometimes it means things will fall out of your life and your life may fall apart in order for you to rebuild back up the way you want it to be. But that falling apart is not always easy, and that takes faith and trust. And so,
I love that. Amen and amen, sister. It
yeah,
really is so important to make sure that you're following your right path and doing the right thing for you. I could not agree anymore. And doing those, like being on the path, it's not always easy. Um, and I just want to say, holla, girl, holla, you did so amazing working through all of the tough stuff and really facing it. And like, you were like, bring it. I'm ready. Oh, I'll
oh,
take you down. And you totally did. You won the war. You won it
hmm,
wasn't just like each round. You won the match, girl. You won the match. And it was
I win.
you win. I love winning. And so it's
Me
like
too.
amazing to watch you go through even the hard stuff. You were like, I can do this because like the things that we do together, yes, there's energy shifting, you're shifting in
Mm-hmm.
sessions, but ultimately at the end of the day, when you leave the session, you still have that work you got to do.
It's me.
Yep, it's you.
Yep.
Yep, yep,
And
absolutely.
so,
And you're like, power.
or
Yes, exactly.
I
Okay,
even started going back to the gym while I was working with you. Like, so I got that going for me. I love the gym.
I
So,
know you totally love the gym. I just like love that you're like, oh, so I started doing this that I wanted, and I started doing this that I wanted, and this that I wanted. Like
yeah.
you just started doing all these things, and it was more
Hmm.
than just like saying what you wanted or telling people, but you actually did it.
Yes. Yes.
So good. So good. Okay, I am excited for this part, this question. I want you to tell everybody what you do and how they can find you because I think what you do is so fantastic.
Oh, okay. So I am the Crystalline Heart coach. Like I am a life coach. I help women heal complex trauma and PTSD symptoms. I myself, as you may know, have dealt with dramatic situations which have caused complex trauma in my life. And so my overcoming those symptoms, my learning how to live the day-to-day life, which creates and promotes an emotional healing where when I do have any sort of PTSD trigger or complex trauma trigger, I know what to do in order to walk through it without spiraling out of control. My life used to spiral out of control. And I no longer do that. I no longer struggle in that way because I have walked through that process. And so as a life coach, help women continue that journey, walking through that process once they find themselves in a safe space and want to continue healing. I utilize astrology and energy clearing and emotional clearing while I do that as well. I am able to see the astrological planets through the chakra system. And so I teach my clients how to energetically keep their vibrational frequency flowing smoothly. And in doing that through emotional clearing, it allows them to know where they are emotionally every single day in order to stay, stable and live a very happy life. With complex trauma, I found myself feeling like I was never going to be anything else but chaos and living in fear and tears and crying and unable to go places. And I lived in so much fear. And to have found myself on the other side of that, like I honestly, truly did not know I could live this life that I'm living today. And so that is why I do what I do, because I want to help women who are where I once was get to this freedom that I feel today. And so yeah,
I think
that's what I do.
I think that's so incredible. How can people find you?
Oh, Facebook. I have a Facebook group. It's the Crystalline Heart Astrology and Healing Facebook group. Yeah, that's the easiest way to find me on Facebook. I have a website, so crystallinehc.com. It's crystallinehc.com.
I love it.
Um, and so you can go to my website and see what it is I do there. I do individual astrology sessions, and then I do healing sessions, emotional clearing sessions as well. Even though I help women heal, also like you do, I, as a healer, need a healer because, like you mentioned, I am too close to me. So while I do focus on me, I do my daily work, and that keeps me sane when I need to step into that deeper, heavy clearing. I know when to trust someone else and know when to allow somebody else to help me. And so that's very beneficial with healing, is to allow other people into my life. That's when I really did heal.
Preach,
So,
sister, preach. Like I could
yes.
not agree more. Like we do this work for ourselves, but sometimes we're too close to see and
Yeah.
we need someone to help us see. So I
Mhm.
want you, like, if you're watching this, I want you to go check Aubrey out, check out what she does. It's absolutely incredible. Thanks for letting me ask you all kinds of questions today, Aubrey, and
Thank you.
go through the
I've loved
journey
it.
with you. Okay, we'll talk to you all later.
All right, bye-bye.